Hey, Great Machine friends and fans of fun. It's another week. We have news, weird news. Marvel, because Marvel had closed all of their books, creating and shipping and everything else at a different time. We have no Marvel books this week, which is kind of a bummer. But it'll be a short week for reviews, and then we're opening Friday. So you can come through Friday. The store is a mess. We're going to fix that. But you can come through Friday and see our bright and shining faces. And, we've missed you too. So, yeah, come on through. Pick up your books. We're going to jump into it this week. Is there any industry news we should talk about?
DC Comics did switch over.
We are with Lunar. So DC Comics has switched from Diamond to Lunar. I think we talked about that, though. Don't touch Amelia. Don't...
That's all I got for you.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of what else. There was something else, but I don't know. We need to we'll get to it when we get there. We'll discuss something about. I think it's the next comic, so we'll discuss it then. This is Stephanie Phillips, Craig Cermak, Brittany Pizziello, and Troy Petreri, and this is A Man Among Us. This is Image on the Top Cow imprint, and this is essentially the story of Jack Rackham and Anne Bonny. It's not proper. It's not the proper story. Anne Bonny is not posing as a woman. She's a very posing as a man. She's a very scantily clad woman who is known to be a woman in this story. And what's the other woman who poses? Anne Bonny, Jack Rackham, and there's another woman that poses as a man that sneaks on board. That Anne Bonny and her have a thing. And
Talked about it in the Black Sail.
I can't remember her name. But at any rate, it's the sort of loosely based on the historical story of Jack Rackham and Anne Bonny and Mary Read. That's who it was, Mary Read. And it's okay. As someone who is a pirate fan, who likes pirate stories, I tend to gravitate towards the more historical fact, or if we're going to get fantastical with it, I like pirates that are made up then, but not where you take these giant liberties with the actual story. It's whatever. Anne Bonny looks like she looks like Jean Grey in the 90s, kind of running around scantily clad. It's weird, but it's okay. If you need a little more pirate in your life, you're playing a lot of Sea of Thieves these days like I am, maybe come pick this up. It's not bad. Next is Amazing Science Fiction, ? Strange Adventures on the DC Black Label. And this, of course, is the team Tom King, Mitch Gerards, and Evan Shaner. And there are references to lots of lies on this, and they're investigating, it seems, Doctor Strange's memoirs and whether or not he may have committed war crimes, which I went back and thumbed back through the Mr. Miracle that was Tom King, Mitch Gerards, and there are so many Easter eggs that I didn't catch that nobody could have caught the first time through. For instance, there are Adam Strange t-shirts being worn by Mr. Miracle. And they reference this story at times. So Tom King and his plotting is so good. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. I've had a good time with it. This issue in particular, a little bit of a spoiler, might be putting Mr. Terrific on the case. Which, if you're being investigated by anyone, I mean, granted, he'll do a thorough job. But if you've done any wrong, you probably don't want Mr. Terrific anywhere near you, because he's one of the, if not the smartest human in the DC universe. One of them. I'm not sure what the ranking system is. It's usually like Lex, Wayne, and Lex, Batman, Mr. Terrific. But I think even Batman sees that Mr. Terrific is smarter than him. I'm pretty sure Michael is smarter than him.
Yeah.
So
they're level 9s and Brainiac's
Yeah,
11.
this book is great because it's got Mr. Terrific prepping and he's going through his daily life. Meanwhile, the Terrific bot is giving him quizzes and quizzing his intelligence, and it's all just too simple for him. And then the question, he asks the bot to ask him a question he does not know the answer to, and it is the most messed up question I think you could ever ask Mr. Terrific. You need to read it to find out. Is it great? Yes, it's great. I had a really, really good time with this, but I'm a King fan. I definitely follow in King's like fan base, so it is what it is. Next is Ludocrats, issue number 2. Did not want to read issue number 2 without reading issue number 1, so technically this is a double review. This is a lot of insanity. Basically, it is a world where being ludicrous is valued, and you are treated as royalty if you are ludicrous. And if you are only just kind of crazy or a little bit mad, people will probably kill you and call you basic. So you've got to be completely ludicrous. So a man who looks like Santa Claus and at times dresses like Santa Claus was running around naked at the very beginning, covered in blood, while he was preparing for a wedding.
Yes.
This is insanity. This is like if I want to say like if Lewis Carroll did a boatload of LSD and then hung out with the Grateful Dead and maybe a little of Thompson thrown in there
While listening to Jimi Hendrix.
while listening to it's weird. It's weird. I didn't hate it. The art is amazing. The story is just weird as all hell. But if you need a little crazy in your life, if your vampire clan in Vampire the Masquerade is Malkavian, you might love this book. It's a bit nuts. But I didn't hate it. It's just wrestling, naked aliens, weirdness. There you go.
All right.
Next is the question, the many deaths of Vic Sage, and, well, we know that Victor Zsasz is tied somehow to Vic Sage's origin. We're not quite sure why. They've been going through different lives of different Sage members, which Vic Sage sort of remembers, and he always dies to a wicked person every time. And there's no explanation. Hub City in turmoil, yet again. Vic Sage, probably going to die, but he's not called Vic Sage. I think this one in particular is Charlie Sage. A lot of weirdness. I'm excited. I'm having a good time. I love it when he masks up, even when it's not, like, literally there. Like, sometimes he just imagines himself with the mask. It kicks the crap out of people. But it's great. I want to know more. I want to know the answer. I know originally they said it was 3 books, and I think it's going to 4 now. Which it's great. It's honestly awesome. It's Dennis Cowan, and the art is amazing. I'm very much addicted to Dennis Cowan's work. The story is great. Jeff Lemire, of course, it's great. Bill Sienkiewicz and Chris Sotomayor. It's great. Dennis Cowan. I already said him once, but Dennis Cowan again because the art is amazing. It's great. Come pick this up. I don't think you should jump in on this one. Wow, is it confusing even for me? And I've read the whole series. So jump in on the first one, but come pick it up if you're on it. Next is Wonder Woman 757, and this is Orlando Marino Cifuentes and Fajardo Jr. This was honestly a really, really great issue. It's all over the place. A lot of action. It feels like an old-timey Wonder Woman issue at times. It was like reminding me of Wonder Woman books from like when I was younger. A lot of fighting. It was great. Of course, she's fighting a character who looks like the Batman Who Laughs, wears that same sort of eye spike thing, but the character's name is Genocide. They might have gone too far with that, with this, but is the story good? Yes, the story's good. It was a little confusing. I haven't been paying attention to Wonder Woman for at least an issue, so I was a little confused. So I don't think it's a good jumping off point. But if you need good art and you really want a good story and you like, it's not campy like Batman. You like the edgiest edgelord of camp, then for villains, then come pick this up.
Is Jenny always short for Genocide? I'm just gonna assume that from here on
It's such a weird character. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, it's like a Batman Who Laughs, but for Wonder Woman. But it's a weird character. I don't know. Clearly, I haven't been paying attention to who's infected and who's not. So, next is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and TMNT crossover. This is Boom Studios, and this, of course, is the Mighty Morphin TMNT issue number 4, the wrap-up. Well, what did we have last issue? We had the Ninja Turtles in power suits as the Power Turtles, and they activated the Megazord, and they were going to take on a giant Bebop and Rocksteady. Amazing. Amazing. Meanwhile, the Power Rangers had accepted the fact that they were Ninja Rangers and they were moving through the Technodrome to rescue the Green Ranger from Kang. So there is so much good in this. Krang. Got the name wrong. There's so much goodness. There's just tons of fan service. It's everything you want from, I think, both franchises. And you might be seeing a certain cybernetic turtle in giant form in this. So, and there's Baxter Stockman in it. They've thrown all the great characters into this mix. All the TMNT characters I wanted, all the Power Ranger characters I wanted. It's awesome. So come pick this up. This is issue 5. It is the wrap-up. They did set the stage for, there might be a part 2, and I'm hoping it happens because I had such a good time with this. It's great. Okay, try this again. Young Justice 15, Bendis, Walker, Timms, Godansky, and Iltip. This is, of course, the wrap-up to what's been going on. We found out that Connor Kent was hanging out in Gemworld, and he was tricked there by a scientist from Star Labs. Meanwhile, that scientist has been traversing the multiverse apparently for a while, and she winds up tricking Connor Kent once again, throwing him into the multiverse, so Young Justice has to come to the rescue, including Sideways is in this issue. I'm so happy. We finally get Sideways back. Naomi's in this issue, all the good ones. But this is essentially the wrap-up. And we come to find out that while Bart Allen has figured out, Impulse is his hero name. While Impulse has figured out that, Young Justice has existed before, and he looks into everything that's going on with the crisis. He explains what happened. Connor Kent, being on Gemworld during that time, was not affected at all. So this is the OG Connor Kent. He's Connor Kent technically from another universe at this point because the universe changed. So, and that's kind of a cool thing. We get the OG Connor Kent. I had honestly forgotten about him until Young Justice. It's great. I had a good time. This was a great wrap-up. I have nothing to complain about this Young Justice run. There's a lot of fun here. So, yeah, Young Justice 15, come pick it up. More importantly, you get the Wonder Twins being the Wonder Twins and going like, oh, yeah, Superman owes me a favor. He'll set us up as a super team. And his sister's like, that's not really true. He's like, I think it's true. I love Jen saying that. They're so good. Next is Dark Knight's Death Metal. Are you ready for the encore? And my God, so much to talk about, so little I can spoil. This is the DC Universe. This is not an alternate reality as far as we know, but some things have happened. Some major things have happened, and they're moving to engage and deal with it, and my God, there was a point, as a Green Lantern fan, is all I'm going to tell you, as a Lantern Corps fan, which I'm a huge Lantern Corps fan, there was a point in this book where I was cheering, yelling and cheering, and I'm going to tell you that if it's called Dark Knight's Death Metal, you might be able to figure out what it is. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say beyond that. Was it great? Yes, absolutely. My pick of the week, without a doubt. It was amazing. The art was amazing. Sergeant Rock is in it, which is awesome. There's so much goodness in this. So much goodness. Some revelations. Some things some other people have done that have come back to haunt us all, is all I'm going to say. So, yes, it's amazing. Come read it. And if you don't know the premise for this, the build-up was hella risen. And it was basically Apex Lex and the Batman Who Laughs had a brawl. At the end, Apex Lex thought he won. He brought Batman Who Laughs to Perpetua. And Perpetua decided to go with the Batman Who Laughs because he can tap into the dark multiverse. And so Apex Lex is no more. There's just plain old Lex. He lost. And the Batman Who Laughs won at the last second. So that's the build-up to this. You now know where the stage has been set. You can pick this up and go from there. Perpetua is still destroying universes, multiverses. and there's only a few left, a handful are left. So,
Spoiler on the cover that I never caught before.
what is the spoiler on the cover?
For Wonder
Oh, yeah, there sort of is. At any rate, is it awesome? It's amazing. It's friggin' amazing. I had such a good time with this. Come pick it up. Snyder just knocks it out the park. I now understand why Snyder took a break from Justice League, because he needed to handle this, and that's fine. Next, we're going to talk about Wynd. This is James Tynion IV and Michael Dionysus. I cannot pronounce this last name. I'm sorry. Michael D. Let's see. What is this? It's a fantasy tale, and the beginning has a main character turning into what looks like a griffin, and it turns out it's a nightmare. But he sort of lives in a fantasy. It's kind of a fantasy town. They've got a history with I guess gardening problems would be nice way of putting magic gardening problems. Meanwhile, the main characters, there's a few characters running around. Is it good? Yeah, I had a good time with it. I need to know more. It's James Tynion IV though, and he does tend to be a slow burn at times. So he's sort of set the stage, and it's interesting. I'm intrigued. I want to know more. The art is amazing. The art, something about it, I just can't put my finger on it, but it reminds me of something before, and I'm not quite sure what it is. But it's good. If you need a little more fantasy and you like people that play a little loose with fantasy themes, not so strict to regular tropes, this is amazing. It's really, really good. So number one from Boom Studios, I'd say definitely come pick this up. This is almost a must-read this week. Now we're going to do Go, No Go. Green Lantern Season 2, guest starring The Flash. Issue number 4. I mean, I've been really critical. I'm not a fan of this artist. And as much as I love Grant Morrison, I'm not having a good time with this. And this book is no different. It's weird and all over the place. It reads like a fever dream about action figures is the best way I could describe it. And I don't mean that in a good way, because I didn't have a good time with it. So, it's so rough for me as a Green Lantern fan. I'm not having a good time with that, and I feel bad saying that because I'm a fan of Grant Morrison and I'm a fan of Green Lantern, and you think that would work for me, and it's not. Next is Ruckley Malkeva Lafuente of Transformers: Rise of the Decepticons. Go. This is a go. I actually said no go on the last book, but this is a go. Again. It's a lot of Transformer politics, but it's really intriguing and fun. And this issue, you get Hound in it, so go. Next is Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, issue number 4. Go! There's a lot of weirdness. They've pretty much thrown all of these characters together. There's even Evil Ernie in this issue, so if you know Evil Ernie, you'll probably be a little happy with this. Go. Next is Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. I'm on the fence. The story's still a bit weird. It's okay. They're fleshing it out. The art, again, I know this artist is really, really popular in our store, but it's not my jam. So I'm on the fence. Invader Zim, Quarterly, go. Honestly, a hysterical book about Gur. Entirely about Gur. Had the best time. Go. Superhero of the Year. Oh, wow. Bold statement there, Entertainment Weekly. Who knew that it would be Superman? Superman issue number 22. Go. I'm having a good time with it. They're still sort of dealing with the UN of the Galaxy, I guess is what it's called. Go. It's still pretty good. You get Superman and Mongo fighting. What could go wrong? Next is Vampironica, issue number 4, New Blood. A lot of people worked on this book, and it shows. It's good. The wrap-up is not as good as the last Vampironica, which had a great ending. It's still a good ending. Go. Tartarus, issue 3. I was so confused. Maybe issue 3 is not the one to jump in on, so maybe no go on this one. It was confusing. It's essentially like space D&D with weird themes, and I think the artist might be the same artist. No, it's not, but looks very similar to another artist. it wasn't my jam, but if you need a little sci-fi mix with D&D, you know who you are, then it's a go. Death to the Army of Darkness. This book is awesome. Go. You have an army of ashes teaming up with deadites at times. Go. It's weird. Dark Arc After the Flood. Cullen Bunn. Jesus Hervas. Maybe it's because I didn't read a lot of the Dark Arc. Maybe it's because I didn't read the other Dark Arc run to finish it. But it was weird, and I feel sad to say this because as a Cullen Bunn fan, I didn't have the best time with this book. It was weird. I'd say wait until the next book comes out where we can confirm if it's good or weird. But right now, it's a no-go. I'm sorry. And that's our show for this week. So there you go. Yeah, just do the video.